Good morning. Today is Friday, November 22nd, and it is a blue day. Welcome to WSMS. Please give your attention to Lillian for the pledge.
Good morning. Please join me in a moment of silence. Please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remember to show respect, make a difference, and set the bar high. Have a great day. Now back to our announcers.
There is a yearbook meeting Monday and Tuesday.
Math Counts will have its first meeting after school on Monday in room 234. Parents should pick up at 5 p.m. outside door J.
Schmucker's Middle School team was at Purdue last weekend after making state finals. At the end of the competition, they were fourth in Class A, successfully spelling 67 out of 72 words from a list of over 1,600 words that they learned throughout the season. Congrats, Schmucker's Middle School, on all the hard work this year.
The 7th grade basketball team lost a tough one to Pierre Moran last night, 28-27. The 8th grade team won 53-21. 10 different players scored last night for the Spartans. Schmucker's next game is Monday at home versus Northside. Please keep the great crowds coming. What a great atmosphere we had this year.
We will be replacing 6th grade basketball Monday and Wednesday mornings with open gym. Open gym is from 7:30 to 8:50 Monday and Wednesday mornings. Anyone is welcome to come out. Hope to see you there. And now, give your attention to a special guest.
Good morning, everyone. Supposed to be joined by Mrs. Martins, and I'm not so sure where she's at, but I did want to touch on last evening. First and foremost, yes, both basketball teams played very well last night. It was so much fun to watch. It's the first games I had seen this school year just from being out recently. I wanted to thank the student section. You guys were fantastic. 7th, 8th grade students were cheering for one another. You guys were awesome. Our stands were filled. But I also want to remind you, you should not be on the floor, the rubberized floor. You are to be in the stands. And at halftime, you are not expected to be over on the other side playing. You were there as a spectator, and that is what you are there to do only. Other than that, very, very happy with what went down last night. Just want to give you guys another shout out to both teams as well as the cheerleaders. You guys did a fantastic job. And now here to Mrs. Martin.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Hey, I'm sorry to be late. Spartan Spotlight winners for this week. Our 6th grade winner, Michael Samolis. Awesome job, Michael. 7th grade, Trevor Tenner. 8th grade, Brianna Wiggins. So again, these are nominated by teachers. Brianna Wiggins. All right. These are nominated by our teachers because you guys are really fulfilling our SMS, right? You're doing exactly what you need to be doing, and you're just great role models for our peers. So thank you. Please stop down during advisory at any point whenever it's convenient for the teacher. And then for Cheers for Peers on this Friday, a gift card to Martin's or Starbucks is
Mrs. Cook.
Awesome. So we'll get that down to you, Mrs. Cook. So thank you guys for a great week. Let's have a great Friday. Back to the desk.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great day and stay tuned for the 5-star video.
Yes.
Welcome back to 5-Star Life. Coach Seth here to challenge you to live fearless. Now remember, living fearless doesn't mean that you don't have any fear in your life. It just means that you don't let fear stop you from living a 5-star life. You're not enslaved by fear. I've heard it said that there is no courage without fear. Now, ultimately, one of the greatest fears we have as it pertains to school and education is this fear that we don't have what it takes, that we're dumb, that we're not smart enough, that we don't have the tools necessary to succeed in school. Now, several lessons ago, I totally debunked that and talked about the latest brain research that actually suggests our brains are faster than the latest supercomputer. In other words, you have what it takes. You have the hardware to succeed in school. I was sitting last week with a principal who told me about students who had the opposite of this fear of failure. They don't fear failure. He said, Coach Seth, I have students that fear success. They're afraid of what their peers think if they get good grades, if they pay attention in class, if they ask questions, if they act like they're engaged. They make fun of them, talk about them being teacher's pet, or just make fun of them for succeeding in school. So they fear excelling in school because they fear not being cool. That's really sad. Well, there's another fear of success, right? There's also another category of students that they actually fear succeeding because they know if they start doing well in school, their teachers or their parents will hold them to a higher standard. It's like when your mom asks you to do the dishes, you do a great job, and so then she rewards you by saying, oh, you did such a great job, you get to do dishes for the rest of your life. And you're like, I wish I would have done sloppy work like my sibling and got out of the job. That's what some of us do. But then there's this third category. There's students that, listen, they're not afraid of failure. They're not afraid of succeeding. They don't have any expectations for their education at all. They're not even thinking about it. An expectation is something you expect to happen in the future. It's like another way of saying it's a goal, something you believe is going to happen. And if you don't have an expectation, it means you don't value it. And that's what happened to a girl named Deborah. Her parents had zero expectations, zero goals for her education because they didn't value education because they themselves didn't receive their education. They immigrated from Mexico. Her father was a dishwasher. Her mother was a waitress, and they worked really hard. The only expectation, the only value they had for Deborah was they believed she was supposed to be a traditional mother, have a family, raise children. So they never thought about careers and dreams and developing that side of her. And so, naturally, she had no expectations for education. She naturally valued love and relationships. And at 15, she fell in love. She ran off, dropped out of school, got married, had 4 children. And it was about 12 years later that she found herself just totally stuck. No education, with one child that was very sick. She didn't understand the medical terms. She didn't know how to make good decisions. He had 10 surgeries in 1 year. She couldn't wrap her mind around what was going on or how to help her son. And that was when she realized, I have no education. I don't even understand basic concepts. I need an education. She saw other women who had invested in their talents and developed their skills through education who were living great lives. And she made a decision. She was starting to respect her education. She was starting to respect herself. And she knew she needed to go back to get her education. But she had 4 kids. I mean, it was tough. So for 10 years, she took night classes just to get enough credits to be accepted in her local college. She now valued her education. She was fighting for education. She respected her education because she knew it would change her life. We'll come back and finish Deborah's story in a moment. But I want to shift gears because something one of my mentors told me was profound. He said he was invited to a spinning class. A spinning class, just picture a fitness room with stationary bikes, and you just pedal like crazy. But he said the difference of this spinning class was Angela Manuel Davis was the instructor. Now, she is a world-renowned track star. She ran for Team USA. She's incredible. And he said this spinning class was not just a spinning class. It was mind, body, soul, impacted everything. They began with her saying to breathe consistently and deeply. Remember, kind of sounds like some of the meditation stuff we talked about? As they're pedaling, she then told them that this bike was actually a metaphor for their life. In other words, the way they rode that bike, the way they faced the challenges and the physical exhaustion on the bike was a direct connection to the way they'd face challenges in life. See, unfortunately, most people look at life and they see themselves as a different person in the fitness room, a different person in the classroom, a different person at home. So what I'm doing in school doesn't really matter with what I'm doing at home or what I'm doing with my friends. They're not all connected. But what she said in that classroom was, you're one person all the time. You're the same person. In other words, if you can bring your best to this class, you can bring your best to your school, to your work, to your relationships. The reason we don't live a 5-star life is because we're not living a 5-star life. Every moment determines who you're going to be. And unfortunately, most people are waiting for those moments they think are important to show up, to bring their best, to bring their A game, to bring their best energy. But champions understand something that average people don't. They understand that every single moment is that moment. At age 15, that's what Deborah didn't understand. She didn't understand that every moment was that moment. But at age 28, broken, no education, struggling with 4 kids, 1 sick, to make ends meet, she knew she now valued the thing that she had the opportunity to do earlier. She started to put her best foot forward. She started to show up. This was her moment. She finished school. She graduated. She then started helping girls like her who were single-parent moms get back on their feet, get their education. She started fighting for them. She changed their lives. Over 20 years later, Debbie Dordra is the superintendent of Los Angeles County Education Office and oversees over 80 school districts in the LA area. Some of you have parents and grandparents that have high expectations for your education. But if you're honest, you have a little respect for education, but you don't truly value and respect your education as though this were your defining moment. I want to challenge you to do that today. And then there's others of you that you don't have any expectations because your parents or grandparents, maybe they haven't valued education. They have no goals. You don't have any dreams for education. That changes today. Remember, the difference between champions and average people, people that live a 5-star life, is they understand that every moment is that moment. Bring your best to your education. Respect your education. Good luck.